So, Holly, you want to know why I blog? And as I understand, you're interested in why I'm blogging outside of my regular online and blended courses. The main reason I blog is because I teach a number of courses related to education policy, and I love my students, and they work hard, and they're more than willing to read the books I assign and the articles I assign. But they're not necessarily always keeping up with what's going on in the world about them. In New York, where I teach, the New York Times costs about $2.50 a day to acquire, and but there's a lot of information in the regular popular press about what's going on with things like charter schools, funding for education, collective bargaining, teachers' rights, and I use blogging as a way to make my students aware that these things are happening, and they may be studied at some point down the road, but they're happening now. And so it's a way of encouraging them to keep up with what's going on around the world. Now that was my original thought, was really to have them look at things related to education policy, but I found myself drifting into other areas, so that now I have lots of blogs that relate to general news. I've been following the elections and the debates, also in terms of the latest developments in terms of technology, and I find that there's an interest in this, and it's beyond my students, and I'm very happy to say, and I get my statistics daily from the webmasters and the social media specialists at CUNY, where we have our academic commons, and I know that there's a lot more activity on that blog beyond my students. And so I was very happy to see that when we put a counter on it back in January of this year, and it's a counter that's of a more generous type of hits, not the more rigorous, but a generous type of hits to your blog. And just a couple of days ago, I went past 500,000 hits over the last 10 months. That's a lot more people looking at this than just my students. And so I feel that it has been an important service, not just to my students, but to an audience out there, most of whom I have no idea who they are. So in sum, I think blogging has been a good experience for me. I do get good feedback on it from my students, so they're learning the lessons I'm trying to encourage them to get involved with. And then I have this other community out there, which I really don't know who they are, but some of them must be coming back to the blog on a regular basis. And when I travel to other parts of the country, such as here in Orlando for the Sloan-C conference, I start talking to people I don't know, and they mention that I saw your blog post on this, that, and whatever. So I found it to be a very rewarding experience. I encourage anybody, but faculty in particular, who I think are interested in lots of issues that affect humankind in various ways depending upon their disciplines, to consider blogging and to make it part of who they are as a professional.